Hey friends, GM. My name is Evin McMullen, and I'm here repping the disco team. It is a challenge to follow Anastasia presenting her thesis work, but I'm hoping that an abbreviated version of my EthCC talk will keep you all amused as well. So I am really excited to chat with you guys today about data backpacks, personal data backpacks, or what we need beyond wallets to carry all of the fun stuff that we require for our adventures in the metaverse. So if you are interested in chatting about this later, please drop me a line at DiscoXYZ. We want to hear all of your metaverse dreams. So first up, we'll start where we are in Paris and our recent experiences. So you may have heard the phrase that you eat with your eyes first. This is why the context clues that we get from the world around us help us to understand the experiences that we're having. So for example, we've been drinking a lot of wine in Paris this week, or at least I know I have. And it turns out that when people are blindfolded, often they can't actually tell the difference between red and white wine. Typically, people's perception is dominated by what their eyes see, which is why visual design and technology informs our expectations and experiences much more than many other facets of our products. So we think a lot about skeuomorphic design at Disco. Skeuomorph is from the Greek for container or tool and shape, and it is a derivative object that retains the ornamental design cues from structures that were necessary in the original form. So skeuomorphs are typically used to make something feel familiar in an effort to enhance the understanding and speed the acclimation of end users to a new experience. So skeuomorphic design helps us to migrate from one context to another with familiar trust cues. The Greeks actually used skeuomorphism in their material transitions from building things out of wood and then stone, or carving rope-like adornments on the exterior of pottery. But skeuomorphic design also appeals to digital immigrants, just like us. We are now in the digital immigrant age of Web 3 because we were all born into a version of Web 1 or 2. But now we are trying to occupy these new lands, looking for ways that we can maneuver these spaces and these tools with minimum onboarding labor. So we all are in this room are helping others transition into Web 3 by building cues that call upon their understanding of the existing world. Your crypto wallet represents a collection of token IDs mapped to it, which are public and financial assets. Fred Ursum likes to say that your crypto wallet is your future digital you, but at Disco, we love the movie Fight Club, and we believe that you are not your job, you are not how much money you have in the bank, you are not the car you drive, you are not the contents of your wallet. Sorry, Fred. Your traits and preferences are not permanent. Your private experiences can't be made available for sale to the highest bidder, and for those of us who are not billionaires, we're going to need more than just our wallet to open up the world to us when we leave our house at the beginning of the day. So at Disco, we believe that data backpacks are the perfect skeuomorphic design to carry your metaverse identity across Web 2 and throughout your adventures in Web 3. Your identity and your reputation, your accomplishments, interactions are so much more expressive than simply your purchases and your monetary earnings and the kinds of actions that you're cool to do in public for everyone on Earth and in space with an internet connection to be aware of until the heat death of the galaxy. So if you're going to carry around all of these awesome non-financial capabilities and privileges and traits, you're going to need more than just a wallet, because wallets are just for financial assets. So in your Disco data backpack, we are excited to empower users to take custody of verifiable credentials encrypted against your keys so that you can own and control private attestations written about you by yourself, by others, by the homies, by the DAOs. And so I'm sure all of you are very familiar with the W3C specs that detail these. But just as a quick refresher, verifiable credentials are signed JSON blobs written by one party about another or itself. They're revocable or can be set to expire, and so are a much more appropriate form for describing human traits than anything permanent and on-chain can be, because we are not permanent and public. We like to think of identity as closer to a verb than a noun. And so these revocable, evolving, organic, changing traits can describe things like your membership in good standing in an organization. They can verify your age, attest to your place on the guest list at Ravi, Aave later this week because Eventbrite has been giving them a lot of difficulty. They can be proofs of purchase, like receipts for the Louis Vuitton bags that I'm sure we've all been buying this week, or even your proofs of friendship, proofs of chill, proofs of very good vibes. And so in order to express the full range of human capability and all that we are beyond our financial assets, we need a broader vocabulary than what mere tokens can provide. But in Web3 right now, we are not leveraging all of the magic of our self-custody. We are leaning hard on Web2 tools because we can't express more than our money on chain. So for every decentralized organization that we spin up with Google Docs and Twitter and Discord, we are feeding the surveillance capitalist beast. And it would be remiss of us to assume that the public infrastructure, the public data that we make available will not be leveraged by these centralized entities as a free resource to append to their existing centralized authority. So one thing that's really wonderful about verifiable credentials is that we can sign these attestations with the existing keys that we already have to control our assets on chain. One set of keys, two magical universes, one touching the past and one bringing us into the future. And so your ability to self-custody and control more than what is public, more than what is contextual to a single environment, more than what is locked to a single platform or chain means that you are the atomic unit of Web3. Human beings, right? We're here to build human coordination tools, not protocol coordination tools, because at the end of the day, the people using these protocols are themselves people, right? So the smallest unit of what we should consider need not be a wallet because we have many wallets if we have good OPSEC, need not be a token because hopefully we've got more than one of those, and certainly should not be a singular blockchain lest we bind ourselves to platform lock-in forever. So Disco profiles are the way that we are visualizing this experience for our end users. So your profile feels very similar to something from Web 2, but you own and control all of that data, and you have the ability to permission it to whatever applications you're engaging so that you never have to fill out a form again. Disco profiles will enable you to own, control, manage, issue, request, disclose, revoke a variety of different traits and capabilities, these as independently verifiable proofs in your very own data backpack. We have known the importance of our data and the value of that data for many years as we've been served up increasingly creepy ads on the social media platforms that we use today. And we have been renting our space on the internet by allowing centralized entities to bear the weight of responsibility for the management, protection, storage, insurance, and frictionless experiences enabled by the information we share about ourselves online. But in order to move beyond Web 2 infrastructure, from building Web 3 Discord and other skeuomorphic experiences to an entirely new language of interactions that can transcend our platforms, we need account abstraction that brings us from a flat mapping of tokens to public addresses into fully formed 360-degree human beings who exist regardless of what platform they're using, regardless of what base chain they're playing with. And so because there are none of these true Web3 native communities, because we're relying on the supporting infrastructure of Web 2, we need to plan for the kinds of interactions that we hope to enjoy in the future. Obviously, we need to start by transposing the kinds of engagements that we have today, or the tools that we use today. But just earlier today, we were participating in some workshops thinking about the future of identity and reputation for DAO governance. So if we are to coordinate more interesting games than treasury allocation, we are going to need more flexible models. Group chats with bank accounts are super fun, but how are we going to have a decentralized government if we cannot do more than just spend money? Creating a data backpack with Disco means retrofitting one of your existing public identifiers with a decentralized identifier method, another beautiful gift from the good nerds of the W3C. And I'm sure you guys are all aware of the very exciting update with decentralized identifiers. They have been gifted to us from on high as the latest identifier approved by the W3C since the URL. And so this is an incredible step forward in continuity among Web 2 and Web 3, giving us a shared language of interoperability. So At Disco, as I mentioned, we store credentials written about you encrypted against your keys so that you can own and control your very own loot bag of past experiences and accomplishments. Our data backpacks allow you to bring your own wallet, bring your own signing keys, and take advantage of EIP 712 updates so that your sign type data need not require a separate native mobile app, as you might remember from years past. So like a physical backpack, Disco is a tool with the goal of supporting your adventures out in the world. We want you to get back to collecting experiences, seeking vibes, making memories, and enjoying all of the parts of your life that make you you, not staring into the nightmare rectangle as much as we can get you to in order to sell more ads. So at Disco, we want to shorten the time between setup and adventure from claim to party, and we cannot wait to see your backpacks filled to the brim with all of the things that will make your life more frictionless, vibey, and fun. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you having us, BlueYard Capital.